basketball at that point. Everybody hated them, despised Christian Laettner, and he hits that shot on top of it, to really vilify himself for his entire career.
Well, and we all know that Duke ended up winning that game. It was a high-scoring game, too. It was like 104 to 103, and it came down to the milliseconds. And that might very well be one of the most perfect games. Maybe it was too perfect, something only we get to experience maybe once in our lifetime, because that's when I was thinking about what was the best games ever. I go back to that as well. And the other thing I remember about that bracket is everything went to hell in a handbasket because I had Kentucky to win it all, which I very rarely do because I hate Kentucky. Just saying, as an IU fan, and as a Colts fan, you have to hate the Patriots. As an IU fan, you have to hate Purdue and Kentucky, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, another good one that I liked a lot was '85 when Raleigh Massimino and the Villanova Wildcats upset Georgetown, who were such huge favorites. I mean, you talk about that's a game that nearly took Vegas casinos down and sports books down at that point because Georgetown was favored so heavily. And the Wildcats win. You think about Jim Valvano running around looking for somebody to hug after NC State wins. But that Villanova upset of Georgetown with Patrick Ewing, what a great basketball game that was as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Mo from the BS Sports Show has joined us. And, Mo, I appreciate you stepping in for me there when I needed to help my dog out of an emergency before I had a bigger emergency. Where can people find your work at Masterpieces, sir?
On my Twitter account, @Mo Radio Show.
On my Twitter? On the world of Twitter? All right, Mo. You doing any big binging? Have you finished the Tiger King yet?
Yeah, for sure. That's one of those ones that I was disappointed in myself for watching the whole thing, but when it was done, I was ready to watch more. If you like the Tiger King, though, and you're missing something, my wife turned me on to the Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. You want to talk about something that'll just make you feel all the things the Tiger King did? Check that out on Netflix or Amazon Prime.
What's it called?
The Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. It is backwoods, the most hillbilly thing you'll ever watch in your life, but it's very Tiger King-esque.
Well, I just got done watching Ozark Challenge. It was about a family feud in the Ozarks, and it was really pretty good. But they only did one season of Ozark something. But anyway, it continues on. We appreciate you joining us today, Mo, for the BS Sports Show. Have yourself a good Coronacation. Sounds like fornication, but All right, Mo. We'll talk with you soon. Mo for the BS Sports Show joins us. We'll be right back right here with Ed Kracz, beat writer for the Philadelphia Eagles and SI.com, our official NFL contributor. We're going to kind of play around a little bit with the NFL free agency and maybe look at some mock drafts and see what's going on because, hey, what else are we going to talk about?
Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the bad bitches and your ugly ass friends. I cannot preach. I gotta show them how a pimp get it in. First, take your sip, do your dip, spend your money like money ain't shit. Ooh, we too fresh. Got to blame it on Jesus. #blessed. They ain't ready for me. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up.
The Air National Guard is a reserve component of the United States Air Force and serves alongside active duty Air Force members in times of a national crisis. In addition, the Air Guard serves the state and local community in a wide range of capacities. The reason people join the Air Guard is as diverse as our members and includes such reasons as a deep desire to serve their country, money for college, travel, new job skills, and the pride that goes along with belonging to the greatest military organization in the world. I joined because I felt a calling to serve my country, but I didn't want to be far away from my family, so the Indiana Air National Guard was a perfect fit for me. With over 95 different career opportunities to choose from and 100% paid college tuition to any state-funded college, why not give us a call? Call 1-800-841-3103 or visit online at goang.com to find out more. Again, that's 1-800-841-3103. The Air National Guard, guarding America, defending freedom.
I can't believe it. I've been playing 4-on-4 with a barbershop quartet.
Pass the ball, pass the rock. We're open, just pass the ball.
Nah, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico. Yeah.
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Morning face. You get it when you don't sleep well. This is what happened to Linda.
Morning, guys.
Good morning. Ah, what is that thing?
It's me, Linda.
Oh my God, it talks! Run!
No, it's me, Linda from HR.
It looks hungry! Save the children! Save them! Stay back! I've got mace!
Ow, that went in my eyes.
Quit moving!
It's called beauty sleep for a reason. And there's never been a better time to get some.
Get 20% off IKEA Sultan mattresses. IKEA, love your home.
All right, and welcome back to The Balance in our Coronacation episode. It continues. Joining us now, Ed Kracz, beat writer for the Philadelphia Eagles and SI.com, our official NFL contributor. Ed, how's your Coronacation coming? I'm trying to get that word right. It's my new word. I've invented the word. It's a vacation, but it's because of Corona, so it's a Coronacation. But as I was just telling Mo, it kind of sounds like fornication, so I kind of got to work on it. But I'll have it perfected.
Yeah.
Is that a sign that I have too much time on my hands?
Well, knowing you, Tom, you'll have it figured out just in time for when this whole thing's over.
That's right. So have it all ready to go.
Yeah. Right.
So we're talking NFL. I mean, that's the only thing that hasn't went to the video games as far as the. I know we have Madden and all that. What I mean is like the racing's doing the iRacing and other things are doing it. But it just the whole thing has just got bizarre. But it's also gotten real. I think it's touched every one of our lives. You mentioned your elderly parents. I believe my father as well in a nursing home, and found out yesterday that somebody else in the nursing home had contact. So it becomes a very real reality. But it's good to have this escape that we've got in NFL as part of that escape. So let's talk a little bit about the NFL free agency a little bit more. And we'll maybe do a little bit of mock drafts and so forth. What are the Eagles doing as far as, well, one in the free? Let's talk about the Eagles and their free agency. Are they done with everything that they're going to be doing? Is there any more major moves? What do you think was the A and the F grade of the free agency with the Eagles?
I don't think they're necessarily done. There's still players out there that could interest them. LaShawn McCoy is someone whose name has come up. He's still a free agent, and when you talk about the Eagles, you look back to 2017 in the off season of they ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. They signed LeGarrette Blount on May 18th, so that was well past the start of free agency. So I don't think in the Eagles world and many other teams too. I don't think free agency is over. I think you could still see signings. I think it's kind of been a very strange off season, with free agency. I know Eli Apple, his deal with the the Vegas Raiders now, was supposed to.
Isn't that hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah, I still can't say the Chargers right. I still think of them as San Diego. I'm still kind of warming up to that. But so here we have the Las Vegas Raiders that are supposed to play this year in Las Vegas. But they had a deal with Eli Apple in free agency, but then they couldn't sign the contract for whatever reason, probably because, of what's going on, and the Raiders changed their mind, or Apple changed their mind. I'm not exactly sure how it fell apart, but now Eli Apple, a pretty serviceable cornerback, is now a free agent again. So I don't think teams are necessarily done. The first couple waves have gone through here, but there's still players out there, and you look at some of the Eagles free agents like Jason Peters, who's going to be 38. He's still on the market, and Nigel Bradham, a linebacker for the Eagles, he's still out on the market. So there's still players out there that are going to want to have jobs, and the longer they go without jobs, the more desperate they'll become, and you'll be able to sign them at a very cheap price. So, no, there'll still be some signings as we go forward here, especially coming out of the draft when teams say, hey, we didn't get what we needed to do to fill this position. What's left in free agency? So you might see another, wave of free agency pickup once the draft is over, when teams realize, hey, we left ourselves a little shorthanded at this position. Let's go see what we can find that's still out on the street. As far as the Eagles' grade goes, I think they've done a pretty good job of, revamping their secondary, which was, one of the worst pass defenses in the league last year. And, their philosophy, as every team's philosophy should be, is that, it's not just the secondary's fault for having a poor pass defense. Some of it starts up front with the defensive line. You have to, that goes hand in hand. The less time a quarterback has to throw the ball, the better that is for the secondary. So you need a pass rush that kind of shortens that quarterback's time, and vice versa. If the secondary can cover that extra second longer, that gives the pass rush that extra second to get home for a sack or a hurry or whatever you have there. So I think the Eagles did a good job of that. That's really been kind of the thrust of their offseason, is to revamp that defense. They signed Javon Hargrave from the Steelers. In my opinion, anytime you can pick up someone in their prime from Pittsburgh, that's a good move. Pittsburgh is a very good organization. They make good decisions, and they just got caught in some salary cap constraints, and the Hargrave popped loose. So that was a very good signing, I thought, for the Eagles. And then on the back end, they traded for Darius Slay, who, he's a little older, 29, not ancient by any means, but had a bit of a down season. He was on a conference call this week, and he thought he played freaking fantastic. That was his words that he used when asked, if he had a down year last year, and he thought he had a good year. So I guess that's a good deal. We'll see once the season begins if, he's not on a downward trajectory here. But on paper, it looks like a terrific move. They needed a number one cornerback, and they think they have one in Slay. Right now, as far as that, their off season goes, they revamped that secondary. They brought in Will Parks, who I think is going to be a very underrated and very good safety for them from the Broncos. I think I would right now at this point, I'd probably give them a B in free agency, but we'll see once that season starts and a year or two passes, and that grade might not be a D if these things don't work out, or it could be an A if they do. But right now, I'd give it a solid B.
Let's talk a little bit about Bill O'Brien in his recent press conference about the Texans since they traded DeAndre Hopkins. And don't get me wrong, being a Colts fan, I'm okay with DeAndre Hopkins going somewhere else. But one of the reasons that he said that they traded him to Arizona Cardinals for David Johnson in a 2021 fourth round selection as well. Was because he wanted to raise. To me, that just seems like an odd reason to trade somebody. We're going to trade you because you want more money. What NFL player doesn't want more money?
Right. That's just, Bill O'Brien didn't get very high marks for his move there, and in the past too, with the Laramie Tunsil deal, and then getting rid of Jadeveon Clowney for very little. I don't know what really he's doing, and yet, they were in the playoffs last year. I don't they'll get back there this year, but who knows? The Hopkins situation with having to rip up a contract and give him a new one was kind of why, the Eagles took a lot of heat for not, Howie Roseman took a lot of heat. Well, why didn't the Eagles go out and get him? They need help at wide receiver, obviously. And Roseman said on a conference call that, to bring in a player and then rip up his contract, what does that say about the other players on your team who have given you, years of service that